So I've done several videos now regarding this case number, okay? And I've said, take it with a grain of salt, but I had printed, this was back in 2020, I printed this whole case. It's hard to find, you can find this case, this is front, you can find this part online, and you can find this, and like the basic documents, but back in 2020, I had printed all 180 or all 87 pages of the document, which, as I've said, basically broke down deals that were made with many people in the tech world, okay? Many of the people that you saw at the inauguration, like all the tech bros together, Bezos, Zuckerberg, they were all listed in this. So I think that's interesting. I think that's really interesting. Also, because this wasn't just hurting America, although it was, I wanted to read this part. This is page 14, again, of 87. It says here, I'm kind of, let me see, maybe I need to turn, division caused by misuse and negligence of the algorithms in Facebook and Google hindered and delayed the U.S. administration's efforts to pressure China in time to save more people from concentration camps, deaths, and cremation, in addition to national security concerns that impacts Americans and the world's citizenry. This is not limited to the Trump administration. Rather, it affected the Obama and Bush administrations as well. Google hurt America and China for 2 decades at a geopolitical level. Google is guilty of Article 2, 3, and 4 of the Genocide Convention, in addition to complicity. Making posts and articles by so the person the organization that's going after them is, as it says, the AI organization. They have been trying, like, they've had information, putting it out there, and they went after news agencies in this because they wouldn't report on it, or they plagiarized the stuff where they were telling them that this is dangerous, or they didn't report on it at all. Now, Obama was listed in here as pretty much, if you saw my last video, he's responsible for much of the same things Clinton was responsible for as well. But then you have to take into consideration this shadow government, right? So how much control did they have? Which is why maybe deals were made with them. Again, this has nothing to do with the Epstein stuff or any of that. This is separate. This is just dealing with AI and the weaponization and the manipulation of, well, people of the world, really. But the amount of harm that's been done to the China people because of these tech companies and helping them build their AI system in China, then allowed them to put people in internment camps. You know, one of the things, and I mentioned organ harvesting, anybody who's semi-awake probably has come across this, okay? This kind of worried me, not kind of, it worried me a lot, because when I was at Northwestern, it was COVID and they had the lockdowns, and I said how they put these blacklisted cameras, thermal cameras in, and then all of a sudden they were praising themselves, like during the height of COVID, for doing these 2 double lung transplants. And so I already had known about China's slavery system. I've always been fascinated, not fascinated in a good way, but just how horrible for these people. So long before, like, Trump came in, I had known a lot about it. But it was during 2020 I learned about this. It was from Epoch Times about the organ harvesting they do. Congress has done stuff on this too. So that's very wide known. So then when I saw that Northwestern is praising themselves during the height of this world pandemic and everybody's locked down, and everybody was told we can't trust anything, we can't open anybody up. They're doing double lung transplants on patients that were on vents. I'm like, so everybody has to stay all these feet apart, and you have an entire transplant team. You got these lungs during a lockdown. Like, how did you get them so fast? And yet they praised themselves. It was nauseating. They pat themselves on the back. And then looking into things further, well, transplants, that makes a hospital the most money. It's the most money. But I just wondered, where did you get these lungs so fast? And why were you opening people up when we were told, oh, we don't know what this virus... Well, we know they knew what this virus was about. I mean, the people, because this was a bioweapons attack on America. That's already come out. Okay, so this wasn't just an attack was done to the world people because of them doing gain of function with that virus, and then everything else. So, and of course it took place, they did this gain of function research at Wuhan lab, but it wasn't China, it was us doing it there. And yet this AI organization has been, and this Cyrus A. Parsa has been they've been trying to inform people, and yet at every turn they were being blocked either by media people or others. So that's why there's so many of these people listed. John Brennan, James Clapper, I mean, all the, ones you'd expect that would be a problem. But I do think it's interesting that the whole thing in my last video that I mentioned about Elon Musk and how once you become merged with a machine, you're no longer considered a human being. So then you wouldn't have the rights that you would, right? That would be my opinion. Again, if you go to try to look for all these pages, I don't think you can find them anymore. They did go after PR Newswire because they prevented U.S. senators, governors, Congress, and the media at large from knowing about the reports. Like they had put out articles and reports about artificial intelligence dangers to humanity that were later plagiarized by other think tanks and outlets, yet the contents did not make the mainstream news via the AI organization. PR Newswire caused financial harm and undue stress to Cyrus Parsa and the AI organization for its combative censorship of the AI organization and Cyrus during their attempts to prepare and publish press releases with different PR companies who were forced by PR Newswire to adversely react and harm the plaintiffs. So Amazon's on here. It was all the people that were at the inauguration. So I think, Trump put him out there because, he's in charge. Again, all the court articles are mentioned in here, like Article 3, the following acts shall be punishable: genocide, conspiracy to commit genocide, direct and public incitement to commit genocide. I mean, it's broken down. I just, but I guess nobody would report on any of this because that's what they're saying in here. No news agency would report on this. And yet, what have they been pushing? That AI is, So that's why you would need TikTok and you would need the everyday people to report on this, because otherwise none of those podcasts will report on this. None of those news will report on this. I mean, this is a huge case. Huge. Worldwide implications. And none of them reported. And it was in 2020. I'll do one more video because there's more. I mean, so I'll follow up with one more. Just think about that. None of the media even told us any of this.